Hey man, it's me, Kevin Smith. Two things I know in this world: black and white convenience store movies and podcasting, man. So when I give you a podcast suggestion, people tend to listen. I'm about to drop some on you right now. Check out a great variety of podcasts on the Odd Pods Media Network, man. I'm talking shows Super Media Brothers, Married with Television, The 500 Section Lounge, From the Middle Podcast, Pod Askew, BFYTW, and Infectious Groove, all proud members of the Odd Pods Media Network. They make me so happy, spittle flies out of my mouth when I talk about them, man. I love anybody that creates a podcast network, and the good folks at Odd Pods have done exactly that. Go listen to all the podcasts on Odd Pods Media Network right now and tell them Silent Bob sent you. And when they say, wait, I thought he doesn't talk, and you're like, yeah, well, he talks one line per movie. And then go like, what? And the one line in a movie told you to go listen to Odd Pods Media Network? And then be like, look, it was just a fucking sign-off catchphrase. Get off my dick. And then you'll have made a new friend.
I'm Midnight Agent Raw.
And I'm Okame.
We are the Super Media Bros podcast, and we are founding members of the Odd Pods Media Network.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dylan.
I'm Corey.
I'm Kendall.
Together, we host From the Middle, a comedy and culture podcast about being middle-class guys living in the middle of America, in the middle chapters of our lives, with points of view that fall somewhere in the middle.
That's right, Corey. We chat about all things, mostly husband and dad life, geek culture, and entertainment from a relatively centrist and regular point of view. We all hear enough about the extreme ends of the spectrum, so we thought we'd create a conversational and relaxed podcast from a moderate perspective.
Flyover state? Psh, more like state fairs, livestock. Guys, what's something that's cool and impactful that is the antithesis of boring?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Listen to our podcast. We'd love for you to join the conversation. You'll forget you're not actually hanging out with us.
That's From the Middle, available wherever you find podcasts and at From the Mid Pod everywhere.
Who are we? We're the assholes.
I'm Santa Claus, not fucking Dracula.
This is gonna hurt.
All that and more.
Is that Santa Claus?
Oh shit.
Who's next?
That is the most jacked up Santa Claus I have ever seen in my fucking life.
And there he goes, causing mayhem again.
He's gonna go slay the bells.
He's fucking tired of being merry.
He's tired of everybody's shit this Christmas, and he's gonna fuck your shit up.
He's not gonna give you coal.
He's gonna take
a black eye.
He's gonna give you a black eye. He's gonna take a shit right under your tree and down your chimney and fuck up your fucking Christmas dinners.
I thought say take a shit in your mouth.
He might take a shit in your mouth. Who knows? Merry Christmas.
That's how we feel about the holiday. Take a shit in your mouth.
Take a shit in your mouth. Welcome to episode 152 of the Super Media Bros podcast. I'm Midnight Agent Raw.
And I'm Okame.
Cult Cinema Showdown 63. We've got a special Christmas gift for you this year.
And it doesn't involve shitting in mouths.
No, it involves a giant goddamn snowman and Bill Goldberg wrecking your entire day. Santa's Sleigh versus Jack Frost. Once again, not the Michael Keaton one.
Let's just get that out of the way because everybody's probably going like, they reviewed that one? No.
Where the fuck do we even start?
How about with Bill Goldberg?
Let's start with Bill Goldberg, Mr. Who's Next himself. Who's next on the naughty or nice list? It might be you.
It's probably all of us at this point.
Yeah, I would venture to say that. Yeah, it's a Christmas slasher comedy because there's just no getting around, especially the opening fucking sequence of this movie. Holy shit.
Yeah, because we have like a little star-studded cast having a little Christmas dinner.
The Mason family.
You know, we have Fran Drescher and Chris Kattan.
It's just fucking funny, though. Like, what does Chris Kattan even do anymore? There's like Rebecca Gayhart's in there, James Caan. This whole opening sequence is amazing because they're all played by Jewish celebrities, and Bill Goldberg is actually coincidentally Jewish himself. So they're bickering at each other, just bitching about everything under the sun, right?
Everything wrong with their life in general.
Yeah.
Let's not forget, Fran Drescher is one, hot as shit. Two, is fucking jacked with some arms. Like, she got some nice little tone to her a little bit.
Right. I noticed that she didn't embellish her accent like she used to do on The Nanny.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing I don't like about her as a person. But yeah, she's fucking still hot.
But it's great, though, because they're just sitting there bitching, right? And then Santa just fucking comes down the chimney and wrecks ass everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, he kills every single person uniquely. Like, he kills Mr. Mason with 2 fucking knives going straight through the table through his hands. Like, he just sat there. Fran just, I don't remember her name. I don't fucking care. She got blowtorched on her hair.
Oh my God, yeah. She's like, like her head's on fire.
Her ass off, and then she got drowned in like a punch bowl.
All that fucking eggnog, dude. I swear to God, just drink it.
And then the little Pomeranian dog that was running around just literally got Charlie Brown kicked.
Dude, that was the first death. He just punts the shit out of the fucking dog.
It's like watching little Hank go boop.
Oh, poor Hank.
But he wouldn't do that.
No. But I love the continuing theme from Treevenge last year where we were talking about, or last week when we were talking about the Christmas star.
What year is it?
What year? About the star on the tree being used as a ninja star, because old Billy Goldberg comes through for us on this one. Just fucking yeets that motherfucker right into the back of the dude's head. I love that he just Sparta kicks Chris Kattan through that curio cabinet in the corner. Like, Chris, he could survive that probably. He just gets kicked into a curio cabinet.
Especially when he tries to stand up to Santa. And he's like, I got this. And he starts doing this like nerdy, like karate shit.
It's like he reverted back to his Corky Romano character a little bit there.
Yeah, and he just got friggin' 300. Pow.
This is Santa! Right into the fucking cabinet. And then to finish off the dad, which was James Caan, he takes him and he can't get off the table. So he just like shoves a turkey leg down his fucking throat.
And then headbutts his ass like the Joker did in Dark Knight, just into the table.
Yeah, I'm gonna
shove that turkey leg in his throat.
I'm gonna make this bone disappear.
Magic.
Yeah, exactly. That's how they do it on Broadway. So that pretty much sets the table. Now, yeah. So we get introduced to Mrs. Talbot, this crabby ass bitch that is trying to get a fucking hero sandwich in this deli
for like literally nothing.
Yeah, she was complaining that, like, dude, okay, I wish I could get a deli sandwich like that looked that good for $4.75. She was bitching about the extra 25 cents. She's like, is that a senior discount? He's like, yeah. She's like, 25 cents? That's a little steep. You bitch.
It'd be great for you getting anything, you whore.
And she drives off. And this is the best part, though. Like, they set that up just so that you can get the death because you know she's going to fucking die.
Here comes Santa Claus.
Yeah, on his fucking hell ride sleigh with this giant bison leading the way. And she's driving, and he just runs her ass off the road into a fiery fucking death. And he's just like, Merry Christmas. It's a beautiful thing. I say this a lot. It's like some of these movies we talk about is like the shit we really need this year. Like this movie is definitely one of those because holy fuck, I just want Bill Goldberg Santa Claus to just take a hell ride and just fuck people up that have been pieces of shit.
Yeah, this is like reminiscent of watching Santa Claus on Futurama. He doesn't do cheer. He doesn't do happy shit. He just kills everything.
And we'll find out why later. That's actually integral to the plot. But yeah, it's like I love it because right after that, this dude fucking straight up tries to mug him and gets murdered with a candy cane.
Yep.
He just stabbed.
He was just sucking away on it and just breaks his arm and then shoved the damn thing in his eye and then flails his head his face into the brick wall.
The other plot of the movie is Nicholas and Mary, I think their names are, the two, the dude and the chick that work at the deli.
The slightly teenager almost, yeah.
Right. And Nicholas lives with his grandfather who, he's kind of eccentric.
A bit paranoid.
A little bit. But basically what you find out, like, we'll jump ahead so we don't have to explain it later. Basically what happens is this version of Santa Claus was the result of the virgin birth produced by Satan. And Christmas was basically the day of slaying for Santa Claus until 1005 AD when he was defeated by an angel in a curling match. And his punishment was a sentence to deliver presents on Christmas for 1,000 years, which means that he's free to kill again in 2005. What year was this made?
2005.
Exactly.
Come on, people, keep up with us.
Yeah, exactly. So now that that's out of the fucking way.
Which you kind of catch on early on what's really going on outside of that too, because the grandpa is trying to introduce Nicholas into the Norse mythology or the Norse history and everything like that. There's a big ass book that has like the whole lineage of what's going on, and you kind of piece things together, and it's like, well, that and the claymation angel was like pretty much, it looks just like the grandpa.
It's like, what is that, a Necronomicon?
Yeah.
It is a really thick fucking book. But it's stupid obvious that the grandpa was the fucking angel.
Yeah. I mean, who else would be that paranoid during Christmas?
I like the way they introduced it with the stop motion stuff. What did you say it looked like? It was like the old
Rudolph from the 90s.
Yeah, it was like that in the Frosty, the Snowman.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not Frosty the Snowman, but yeah, like the Rudolph, the little drummer boy, all the good old school shit that they used to put on TV.
Stop-mation, yeah.
I love that stuff. And then we get to the pastor, who's played by Dave Thomas. If you guys know anything about Canadian comedy or any of that shit, Dave Thomas was in the film Strange Brew with Rick Moranis back in the day. And I knew I had recognized him, but I couldn't put my finger on it because he was a little, he gained a little weight by the time that this role happened. And the weird thing is, the last thing I remember watching him in here recently was whenever I watched Follow That Bird. It was a Sesame Street movie. I forgot that he was in it because that movie had a bunch of celebrities and shit. But he's playing this really shitty pastor. He takes all the tithing money. I love it.
Yeah, he cons the whole like church into giving him bills, like dollar bills or 20s or whatever. He's like, no coin. We don't do coin. And lo and behold, he ends up after mass going to get a massive erection at a fucking strip joint.
A massive erection. I love that he's sitting up there. Ladies, gentlemen, let us pay. What an asshole. But yeah, he takes the fucking money to this fucking strip job. And
strip job?
Strip job. Strip.
I think that's even better.
It's a strip job. He's got a strip job. But he's going, I think this is where Santa Claus fucking shows up to the strip bar.
Yeah, because he wants to get a little action himself. Quote.
I like that he just looks at the wall and there's all the pictures of the dancers, and he just looks and he goes, just real smirky.
This is what you do?
It's like, I can get behind this.
Literally.
Yeah. But what makes me laugh is he goes in and just wrecks everybody. Like he's killing motherfuckers with like table legs, and he's just punching fuckers out. But then he gets to the strip pole and he stops and he's just, ugh, and he fucking sanitizes it and then breaks it off to use it as like a bow staff.
And then I think there was a truck driver that was delivering some supplies to the town. He actually pinned him to a wall, or like a little post basically, threw the bar at him, and then he caught it. He kicked the damn bar up into an electrical light and shocked the fucking shit out of him.
Yeah, he's just sitting there just having, he's just dying.
He's not having a good day.
He's not having a good time whatsoever. It's not the most shocking death I've ever seen, but still.
No.
And then elsewhere, Nick is being, the bah humbug of the story, where he's just like, fuck Christmas. I asked for Transformers as a child, but I wound up getting a fucking Easy Bake Oven. And his girlfriend is kind of fed up with him because she's just like, am I going to have to make the first move in this relationship, or like every first fucking move, like constantly? That's like a big argument between the two of them.
Basically, he's a pussy.
Yeah, and he's got like a million fucking locks on his door at his grandpa's house. It's like you have like 4 locks to get in, and then he's got extra locks on the back of the door.
And an alarm system.
God. Forgot to mention, the deli owner gives them Christmas gifts before they leave for the night, and he gets like this old school looking thing that can tell time all around the world.
Yeah, a little digital clock.
Yeah, and she gets like this really cool snow globe or whatever. And he's like, oh, that's a pretty snow globe. And he gets the clock, and he's just like, huh.
Great, thanks, boss.
Thanks, I guess. You ungrateful dick.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they go chill at Grandpa's house, and Nick winds up kind of ruining the night with his usual fuck me, feel sorry for me bullshit, and Mary fucking leaves. And this is where the movie kind of kicks into the next gear, where Goldberg, Santa Claus, is spearing everybody. And by spear, I mean he kicks the fucking door into the deli and spears the fucking dude through the deli glass. Like he jumps through the glass and just spear, like literally like his fucking wrestling move, spears him through the fucking glass.
Yeah, because he beats on the door. The deli owner's like, we're closed. There's a Chinese restaurant across the street if you're hungry. So he just bashes the damn door in. And like he said, he pickle spears him because all he wanted was a fucking Reuben, and he wouldn't give it to him. And he grabs the
menorah.
The menorah, yeah. off the top of the counter, and he's holding the deli owner up on the wall by his neck, and he just like shoves that shit in his fucking throat.
Yeah, he pins him to the wall. But what made us really giggle is that Nick shows up not long after, and he goes in and he's just like, oh my God, oh my God. And then the deli owner just looks up and he's like, hey, and he just talks to him. And I'm like, we're like, how the fuck are you still living?
Yeah, I mean, this thing's clearly through his like trach and everything. I don't understand how he's talking.
He's probably talking through like the fucking hole in the menorah, the bottom of it.
When he opens his mouth and tries to breathe.
What? Tell me something. What happened? Oh.
Before that, Santa Claus actually comes across it's 4 rabbi, I think it was. And the police arrive and they saw Nick there, and then they called the rabbi at the corner of the street. So they're like, bring them all in. We're going to question them all, even the rabbi. So they shove them all in the cop car and they all go to the police station. And that's where they find out that Nick's like, well, I got to find Santa Claus. You know, he only has 10 hours before his slaying stops. We have to do shit now.
And they just look at him like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like they, you know, of course they would look at him like he's fucking crazy.
And the fucking chief of the police station turns in his chair and he's wearing this like, I don't know if it's like a pink shirt underneath the Santa Claus outfit with this fucking shotgun in his hand. He's just like, kid, I don't want to hear your bullshit.
It's like, don't fucking start with me.
Yeah.
And then there's a couple of other police officers that are like, that's strange. The killing pattern looks like it forms a Christmas tree. Yeah, and based on the patterning, it looks like the star is right here. So sure enough, Nicholas leaves, and then Goldberg shows up and fucks them all up. Oh my God, I forgot about the deli scene when the cops show up to investigate. Something isn't kosher here.
Oh my God.
It was such like, there's so many like Jewish joke references in this movie.
I mean, there's a lot of puns in this.
Yeah.
Regardless if it's Jewish or whatever.
Oh yeah, then they're leaving because he grabs Mary. Nicholas grabs Mary and they drive off in the truck. And then there's a cop car about to pull them over and they're just like, oh shit. Well, it's fucking Goldberg in the full Santa garb getting out of the car. And I just want to know, like, what was why didn't he just go ahead and take his sleigh and just chase him?
I mean, not to give himself away.
Yeah, true, but still.
Because, you know, if you see somebody flying around with 2 bison pulling a sleigh, and you be gunning it, you wouldn't be stopping.
It's true. Well, speaking of gunning, that fucker couldn't do anything with that gun to save his life.
Yeah, yet again. So Goldberg, Santa, is in the bed of the truck, and he's holding his own. Like, they're swerving left and right in the road, and he's just, like, barely even moving. And Nick is trying to reload this, like, double-barrel shotgun, or, like, a 2-barrel shotgun. It's not double-barrel because it's up and down. And Mary has to literally tell him how to fucking open it. I'm like, dude, how do you not know? Like, if you've seen a gun like that before, you know how it opens up. And then he didn't know how to put the damn shell into the hole. I'm like, dude, oh, come on.
How you gonna fuck if you don't know how to put the bullet in the hole?
Exactly.
You'd be firing blanks.
But he ends up catching the shot off of Santa. He falls off the damn bed of the truck, and he just rises like the fucking Undertaker, like,
I was laughing, though, too. Whenever he's in the back of the truck, they did this thing where they stop it, and so he can get momentum forward, and then they take off, so he falls backwards. He takes, like, the most basic pro wrestling flat back bump in the bed of this truck, and he just, pooh! I was like, dude, that might be one of the only bumps I've ever seen Goldberg take.
And then he hops up like nothing's happening when they're going like 60 miles an hour.
And then there was a sequence where he rolls through this fucking manger setup that was pretty damn funny too. Like he busts through that shit with his, I think this is like a little bit after this. He rolls through and just runs it all over, and then he chops like the fucking Jesus head off with an axe or some shit, and he's just like fucking everything up.
Just being a maniac, rampaging everywhere.
Oh yeah, that's right, because I forgot. He after he falls out of the truck, he whistles, and I'm thinking, well, maybe he's whistling for his sleigh. No. Nick and Mary go to Grandpa's house, and all of a sudden there's these like carolers that show up. And I think that's who we whispered for. He was like, oh, I need a diversion. Let's get these fucking carolers at the house. He kills the shit out of them, dude. Like, brutally kills the shit out of this one chick.
Yeah, he drops her ass onto the fucking side of the stairwell. It's all brick and like concrete. Just slams her ass.
Yeah, you just hear her neck just break. She just eats brick.
But yeah, they end up going to their little shelter within the house. That's pretty much like a safe vault door. And they're trying to figure out what the fuck to do. Well, Santa just busts in, doesn't give 2 fucks at all.
He never gives a fuck.
They eventually get out and they go to the snowmobiles that Grandpa had stashed away in the garage. And Goldberg actually hears them escaping when he gets into the safe vault or the containment room. He hears them upstairs and saw the camera, and he's like, that's where the fucker is.
Right.
Goes upstairs, and he confronts Grandpa. He's just like, I've been waiting for this day. Like, yeah, 1,000 years.
Yeah, and the grandpa's just like, oh, let's finish this, like, you ready again? I'm going to send you back where you went or where you're from or whatever. And then Grandpa gets run over by a reindeer, but it's not a reindeer, it's a bison.
Yeah.
So they totally screwed the pooch on that joke.
And then he curb stomps Grandpa with his fucking boot heel.
I forgot about that. Yeah. Then Nick's all like, of course, he's like flipped out or whatever. So they make their great escape on this fucking snowmobile and run from Goldberg claws. And they go to the old Hell Township where the pastor is dressed as Santa Claus, leading a shit ton of other Santa Claus clad townspeople. And of course, Bill, like they fly through there and, they make their escape or whatever. But then Goldberg comes flying through and sets the fucking tree on fire and like disperses all the people. And he fucking just the fuck out of the Pastor Claus.
Yeah, he ends up catching him in his sleigh, and he's like, what the fuck's going on? Slap.
He just bitched. Oh, I loved it. It was like, fuck you.
Nick and Mary end up going into, I think it's like an old high school or something.
Dude, how they broke into this thing pissed me off. This is the most incompetent motherfucking guy I have ever seen in my life.
Yeah, two things about this part. One, that because he grabs his jacket, wraps his hand in it, and he tries to beat the glass to one of the windows, and he like bumps his hand so hard he's like whimpering about it. Then he tries to grab something harder, and it's a trash can attached to a fucking chain. He's literally like this dumbfounded buffoon the entire movie when it comes to trying to make anything make sense or do anything in this film. She ends up getting the glass or the window open, and they crawl in.
That's what pissed me off the most. And here's my logic. I'm just going to explain this. This is why it pissed me off. So this whole building's connected together, correct?
Right.
Okay, so the area that he goes to grab this barrel that's attached to a chain, it's in front of other windows that are easily reachable. Why couldn't he break one of those windows with it so they could get in?
Instead of having to go across the way to, yeah.
Yeah, both of these movies have window breaking sequences that piss me off because everybody's incompetent as fuck when it comes to doing it. We'll get to the other one later.
And also at the same time with this scene, he's so, I don't know what the word is to describe his emotion behind this, but he's so like, ooh, when he tries to put his hands on Mary because she's like, I need you to push me in. I need you to push me from the top. Well, he refuses to like lay hands on her. She's like, do I have to make every first move in this relationship? Grabs his hands, put them on her, and pushes her in. I'm like, dude, come on. Really?
He ain't going to be pushing anything else in either.
No.
Sex.
Second of all, they see Santa coming in hot, clearly. The amount of time that it took for them to notice him get inside the window was way more than enough time for him to get to them. I mean, at least a quarter of that time he would have gotten to them. So how the fuck did they make it to her? Did he just like stop in the middle of the sky and was like, hold on 1 second.
Just going to wait.
I'm going to make sure they get into that window.
I'm going to get my bag of pretzels out and just fucking chill out.
I mean, this is literally like a good 3 minutes.
Oh, yeah, he should have been there in like 30 seconds or less. It's like the equivalent of seconds to get a pizza instead of 30 minutes or less. Like,
right.
This motherfucker here.
But they take fucking forever to get in when it takes literally Santa like 30 seconds or less to fly in on that fucking jet-powered sleigh.
And here's the other problem that I have. What purpose did they have going in there? Because I don't think they even stayed. Like they didn't get in there to get anything for any fucking reason. Like they did it just to kind of, I guess, barricade and hide from him.
Also to prove that Nick is a fucking moron, more so than normal.
Exactly. And yeah, the fact that Mary wears the pants in that relationship, honestly. And he's rolling through that bitch. And then we get finally some good fucking content. Sleeveless Santa.
Rip claws.
Oh my God, dude. Just to let everybody out there know, if you haven't seen Bill Goldberg since this movie, he is still even more so shredded than he was in this one. That motherfucker is just a beefy bitch.
He's a beast.
Yeah, he is. Well, he fucking walks in there, and I love, he's just kind of sniffing him out, and he's just like, who's your daddy? Father Christmas. Like, he's all these one-liners. Like, he's got a Charles Dickens book. He's like, Christmas could scare the Dickens out of some people.
Yep.
And then the other thing that we talked about from Treevenge, along with the Ninja Star, this motherfucker has ornament smoke bombs. See, Bill Goldberg's ahead of the game, okay?
Mary had to make him come to a decision, like, what do we do? And Nick was like, well, we have two options. We can either be defensive and wait him out or we can be offensive. And there was a scene before this where they came across a skeet shooting like range basically outside. So they thought if they brought him back to the skeet shooters that they would basically pelt him long enough to kill him. Because the idea is by midnight in North Pole, which would be 7 o'clock here in actual town, that his powers would go away and he wouldn't be able to do anything. He'd be mortal at this point or whatever. Which, again, they kind of threw a lot of different ideas about what his actual powers was when it comes to the time and shit like that. So I'm just like, whatever, just get on with it.
Yeah, and at one point it doesn't really matter because he says something to the effect of all the time zones converge at the same time at the North Pole. So basically it's over when he says it's over.
Yep.
So it didn't matter in the first place.
They ended up making a stand in the high school, but then they thought about it as like, nope, we're going to run like bitches a minute or two after the fact. So there's like you said earlier, there was really no fucking point in them going in there besides trying to, I guess, breathe and like calm down enough to where they can figure out what to do. But that was it.
It was like filler.
Yeah. There was no real need for that scene at all. But yeah, they eventually get into the rink and Bill Goldberg is driving a fucking Zamboni towards them.
Best fucking thing ever. And I love how he takes his flashlight out and flashes him in the face, and that's where that line. He's like, I'm Santa Claus, not fucking Dracula.
But he pins them against the barricade of one side of the rink and he stops. Well, he can't go any further, and he looks down, and there's a curling puck stuck underneath the Zamboni. And lo and behold, here comes Grandpa Angel.
Yeah, he shows up and challenges him to another curling contest, which it turns out that it wasn't necessarily actual Grandpa. It was the angel that like took the form of his body so he could have a life on Earth. And the challenge this time is another curling match where Grandpa bets his soul to hell. If he loses, he goes to hell for eternity. But if he wins, like Santa Claus is vanquished.
Yeah, he has to be the previous version at all times. There's no like time frame when it stops.
Yeah.
So Grandpa Angel goes first. He pucks it really close to the hole, which I thought was really cool how Santa Claus literally stomps the ice and like this demonic track of hell cracks into this hole.
Yeah.
And you just see fucking hellfire and brimstone. You hear Satan in the background. I was like, yeah, bring him over here.
Hey,
send him here.
I've seen that guy before. Bring him over.
Yeah.
We're going to have a good old time down here. I don't know why Satan just became the Budweiser king, but whatever.
It's almost like going close to Boomhauer there first. I was like, oh, dang, I'll tell you what, man.
Oh, dang.
That angel be doing good. Come on down here.
Oh, dang, I'll tell you what, now we're going to grab a couple 6-pack and put them down here. We'll have some titties and beer.
But again, he gets it close, and it's Santa Claus's turn, and he stops, looks, grabs Grandpa, throws his ass like a fucking curling puck into the hole, and he's like, now it's y'all's turn, basically. So at this moment, we forgot to mention that Nick was gifted a present from Grandpa before they left the house. And it was a nutcracker that was literally the form of the angel, basically. And there was some little cheesy line saying like the best something is
like the best gifts are sometimes the most practical or something.
Practical gifts, yeah. So they were confronting him, and Nick pulls out the nutcracker, and he's like, nutcracker. He launches a fucking hot ass cold nut basically into his chest, and it fucking hurts him.
So he nutted on his chest.
Yeah, literally.
He dropped a hot load on Santa Claus's chest.
And they proceed to go and greet Grandpa. He's like, yeah, I'm still here, by the way. They try to pull him up, and they look over, and Santa Claus is just booking it out of the fucking ring.
Yeah, he's like, fuck this, I'm gone.
Like, what the hell? What was in that nut, dude? That's some powerful sperm in there.
Right. The next plan is to kill the bison. So Nick gets like the people from the skeet shooting range over there, and they all take fire at this fucking hell deer, the bison that's coming down, and then out of nowhere, a fucking bazooka just blows that motherfucker out of the sky, and it turns out to be Mary's dad with a giant fucking bazooka.
Meat chunks.
They're gonna be eating good.
We forgot about the Native American with the throat device. Like, yeah.
Oh, he sounded like Ned from South Park.
Yeah.
Well, that's gonna be some good eating.
Ho, ho, ho.
Oh, I forgot about that when he goes into the strip club. Ho, 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 ho's. Yeah, so the bison gets blown out of the sky. Santa Claus is just gone. But then they just find Pastor Timmons impaled on this giant flagpole, just bloody everywhere. And the cops show up, and pretty much he's assumed to be the Santa Claus killer, which is actually very funny.
It's pretty good.
Just fuck that guy for real.
And what other feeling would I have during all this moment than to have whoever I'm with to like finally kiss me, basically, in the midst of a fucking police investigation, murderous body parts everywhere,
A bison strapped to the hood of this fucking GMC Yukon looking SUV.
a fucking burnt down Christmas tree.
Christmas tree.
Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Let's not forget, I forgot the line that Nick told me. It's like, will you kiss like a guy?
Oh, what? Yeah, what the fuck? I don't get it. Like some of the lines written in here for him, like he had the weakest shit out of this entire fucking movie.
And yeah, we get it. He's the next in line to be the protector, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, it's like, could you written a better person, personality wise? Like, I'm sure he'll eventually grow into the part, but at the same time, it's like, really, he's still lame.
Right?
But yeah, they have their moment and amongst all the chaos. And we get to an airport where Santa Claus is dressed literally as Bill Goldberg himself.
Yeah, like this is probably actually how Bill Goldberg dresses in real life. You know, like biker leather, sleeveless like denim vest, and then he's even trimmed his beard where it's not even a beard anymore. It's just this giant like long ass goatee, and his hair is pulled back, and he's actually wearing his own like merchandise. He's wearing the Bill Goldberg beanie with the insignia on it. And what was it that they said? They were like, Mr. Satan. He's like, Mr. Shatan.
It's actually Shatan.
So he just waits to board his flight like on an airplane to the North Pole because, you know, he can't sleigh ride there anymore.
Yeah, with his red sack.
Yeah. Like,
Did you check your sack?
It's like I only have one bag to check. It's like, is that your sack? Yeah.
Did you check it?
Check my sack.
And that's pretty much how the movie ends.
Yeah.
Bill Goldberg flying to North Pole.
Yeah.
On an airplane.
And then I thought it was funny that in the credits, everybody next to their name and character's name had like a naughty or nice check as it went through. It was pretty funny. But yeah.
But yeah, then we get at the very end, him looking at the list. Who's next?
Fuck yeah. Because you can't have Bill Goldberg in a movie without having his iconic wrestling catchphrase. So yeah, that's Santa's sleigh.
Do you ever find yourself sitting on the couch late at night wondering, what should I watch?
Aimlessly flipping through streaming services, pondering as you let your cursor settle over a title, but you just can't bring yourself to commit and push play.
Well, guess what? We do that, and we made a podcast about it.
Because everybody makes podcasts, but we decided to make ours about movies.
I'm Kay,
I'm E.
and together we start a journey through cinema where we watch a movie, sit down, discuss it,
Debate it, test each other's knowledge of it, and then give our final seal of approval or disapproval.
yeah.
So join us as we try to search the infinite web, attempting to answer the age-old question, what should we watch?
So check us out wherever you get your podcasts. Make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and drop us a comment. Let us know what you think, and we'll have some interactive portions where you can join the fun.
So, pop some popcorn, pop some wine, and join us, won't you? Tune in to What Should We Watch with K and E.
Coming at you live, brother.
It's not live.
Coming at you.
Pre-recorded and edited.
Pre-recorded, edited, and delivered, brother.
Bye.
Let's move on. Jack Frost is a 1998 American dark fantasy drama starring Michael wait, no, sorry. That's not the one.
That's scary.
That's scary. Jack Frost is a 1997 American direct-to-video comedy slasher film written and directed by Michael Cooney. It takes place in the fictional town of Snowmen, where, the week before Christmas, a truck carrying a serial killer to his execution crashes into a genetics truck. Let's go from here.
You know, I had so many problems with that scene.
You talking about the opening?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I might have just kind of glanced by while I was watching the first time. I may have to revisit it again just to kind of clarify. I don't remember seeing that van with the acid.
No, it was there. It was just, but they barely showed it. Like, they barely gave you the exposition that it was there. because you got these two dipshit guards that are driving this van, and then there's a guard in the back of the van, and they're playing the whole like, oh, let's look through this small square in front of this because it's snowing like a blizzard.
Yeah, because they end up like, I don't know if they clipped a station wagon or something, but this one guy was driving through in a station wagon. He was pouring like hot coffee or something while he was driving, which, again, dude, if you can't see fucking 2 feet in front of you in a vehicle, why would you make it even harder for you to fucking stay on the road?
You should have pre-tripped that motherfucking thermos or something, dude.
Just drink it from the thermos.
That's what I'm saying. You just drink it out of that. Just pour your fucking creamer and your sugar in that bitch and roll.
Mm-hmm. Also, while this was going on, like Jack Frost kills the guard in the back of him, back with him, and there was this part where he's like smoking a cigarette and he blows the smoke at Jack Frost after he denies him one, and he just like lunges forward, like just okay.
Yeah, dude, Scott McDonald, the guy that plays Jack Frost, just has this like psycho look in his like perfect role, honestly.
Yeah.
And I thought it was funny when they hit the chemical truck, right? There's like a shot of inside the van and it's just kind of spinning, you know, like, and then he leaps out of the back and he's just, the way he's like, oh yeah, and just jumps out of the back of it.
It's the fucking Kool-Aid man.
Literally,
oh yeah,
the cool.
ha.
And he jumps out. One of the guards dies in the crash. The other one is getting out. Like, what the fuck is happening? And he's confronted by Jack Frost, who's about to kill him. Well, the chemical on board of the other vehicle ruptures out of the door that I guess you can open up or whatever, and it flies at him. And he just, without missing a beat, looks over and he's like, this is gonna hurt.
Which, again, I don't know how the chemical just blasts out of the tank, but anyway.
Yeah, so it hits him and he's starting to kind of melt because acid. And then, you know, he's falling into the snow, which the practical effects look really cool or whatever.
That was really fucking cool.
Yeah, he basically, his DNA bonds with the snow.
Yeah, because this acid agent has a property where it fuses the cellular structure of the body with the snow, so he eventually becomes the snow, like you said.
Yeah, and then, God damn it, dude.
The way he like reawakens, he's like, it's like if you ever see, and this is a really fucked up reference, but if you're a kid and you happen to walk into your parents' bedroom and they're wrestling on the covers, that's pretty much what it looked like Jack was doing under the snow. He's just like,
just like, walk. I'm not supposed to see this, and turns the TV off.
And I think that's why the guard was like so shocked and awe, or if he was like disturbed, because when they were being investigated, the investigator was like, let's take a walk through the forest real quick. And he's just like, hey. He holds his hand up like, you know, hold my hand.
He's just sitting there like trying to explain what he saw. And the guy's sitting there's like, uh-huh. All right. All right. Take him in. like this dude's a fucking goof.
I don't need this.
Fuck this guy.
Yeah.
But then, okay, so we get three of like one of the main characters in the movie, Sam, who is the town sheriff, driving with his wife and his son. And he's having like PTSD flashbacks of the time that he actually caught Jack Frost and had him sent to jail and had him sentenced for death and all this other shit. Because Jack Frost has made the threat that he's gonna find a way to get out and come for his whole family. So he's just like distressed the whole fucking time. So he knows that he's being driven to his execution or whatever.
Also, another PTSD moment is when he discovers his kid made this sack of, like, I don't know what the hell this thing was.
It was supposed to be O's, but like I literally put that in the notes. Like Sam's kid, Ryan, cooks him a pile of shit with marshmallow and forces Sam to take it to work for his lunch.
I'm just looking at it. He's like scooping literal, it looks like bad diarrhea.
It's like cookie dough batter diarrhea. And I love how he's just like, you know, put in the Ziploc. And, you know, his wife's like, go ahead and take it. She's like, you going to take it? And he's like, yeah, sure, it'll be okay. And he fucking like
having flashbacks in his brain's like, I remember the last 4 times I've eaten this shit.
Right, literal shit. But yeah, like, so the town is having like a snowman building competition because doesn't Ryan say like, oh, I want to build the snowman this year, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh yeah, you'll win first prize. And it's so apparent. And I know this sounds really shitty, but it is so apparent that his fucking mom and dad just don't really believe in a fucking thing that this kid does. No. They're just telling him what he wants to hear. It's so shitty. Yeah, buddy, I know you'll win first prize. He fucking, yay. And he goes outside to start building the snowman. He probably looks at his wife. He's like, that fucking kid's an idiot.
I am not going through diarrhea oats again.
But yeah, like the town folks start asking Sam about Jack Frost at the city area. Like it's just like this really small town. Probably should have mentioned that. It's a very small community. So they're all asking him about, Jack Frost. And he's like, yeah, I know he's, I know he's around, blah, blah, blah. He's, he's dead, blah, 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 all this other shit.
Is he though?
Right. So Sam goes to the police station and he throws the bag of shit into the trash can. And then this like little voiceover, but Dad, I made those out special for you.
Fuck.
Fucking dig this shit out of the trash can.
Throws it in the back of his squad car, which I made the point watching this. Like, it's the same fucking concept. You're literally just dismissing the idea.
It was just hilarious though. He just like throws it in the trash and Dad, I made those just for you. Fucking little bastard. He just like digs it out and shit. Guess I'll have a pile of crap for lunch. And then they discover a body. A very, very frozen rigor mortis body for old man Harper. And the other cops that are investigating it with Sam say, man, there hasn't been a killing in this area in ages, not even whenever I was a kid. If there hasn't been a killing in the area in ages, how the fuck did Jack Frost get caught for murder and all this other crap and committed to prison and sent to death?
Maybe they dismissed it out of their brain after it happened. It's like, oh, decades ago. I don't want to know what happened last month.
No shit. So Sam immediately thinks it's Jack Frost that's doing it. So he calls the fucking FBI because whenever he drove by the crash scene with his family, they were just like, oh yeah, this is a federal matter now. So he calls the FBI just to see like, oh, is he really dead? Yeah, he's dead. Okay, thanks. Like, so just to the point and simple.
I told you he did.
Yeah, we told you he did. When Manners, which is the FBI director's name is Manners, and he's got terrible manners, fucking hangs up and he looks across the desk at this like scientist and he's just like basically berating him for having that acid get all over Jack Frost. And he knows that he's alive and he knows that he's like this mutated, fucked up something or other now. Though they don't know how or what he is yet, but yeah. And then the snowman appears outside of Sam's house. Remember, because he's just like, oh yeah, did you build that snowman outside? He's like, I didn't build a fucking snowman. And his mom was like, well, I thought maybe you could go put a face on him, hands and some coals and a carrot. And I'm like, you wanted to put a dick and balls on that fucking snowman.
Kid was too busy making shit oats. You don't need to be making no snowman.
Just making shoats.
But yeah, he ends up going outside and decorating the snowman.
I forgot he was cooking.
Yeah,
like that is the thing that I noticed whenever they cut to that scene when the snowman was outside. Like he's cooking, and I was just thinking, God, he's cooking again, motherfucker! Get him away from the kitchen. He's wasting your food.
He's cooking meth.
He probably was.
Like my daddy's a policeman. I can do this shit,
right? He's just like nobody will ever know.
But they had these neighborhood teenagers come up to him, and it's like, oh yeah, the black ice sledding is on, or whatever the fuck he says. And apparently they slid through their house or through their yard, basically. And Tyler, Ryan, whatever the fuck his name is like, well, no, you can't. It's my house. And the one guy who's like the fucking douchebag of the group is like, you talking back to me?
Billy.
Well, he ends up pushing him aside and he knocks the fucking snowman head off. And the snowman gets pissed, which Jack gets pissed. And he like bitch slaps the teenager on the ground, and one of the guys on their sled literally chops his fucking head off with the fucking blade on the sled.
It was fucking hilarious. You just his fucking head goes flying like a goddamn football.
And
Ryan killed Billy. Oh my God. But I love how they do it. They're like, oh my God, Ryan killed Billy. And then Billy just, wasn't me. Billy chopped his fucking head off. It wasn't me. Caught him sledding down the snow hill. It wasn't me. All the blood getting splattered.
Wasn't me.
Now my ass is getting shattered. Oh yeah, that's me.
After those shows.
But I fucking love the conversation though. Sam and Billy's dad are having this conversation. He's like, your son killed my son. He's like, it's like they had a fight. He's like, there couldn't have been a fight. He's like 2 feet taller. And then somebody in the back, not anymore. Just really nonchalant, dude. He's 2 feet taller. Not anymore.
I think it's that dude that keeps walking through the scenes, the orange head and the orange hat.
Yeah, he was. That guy's kind of like the Ernie Kovacs, the Rorschach of this universe, where he just appears like maskless. He's appearing everywhere. Like, why? Sam is reading all the old fucking ransom notes, getting more and more fucking paranoid and shit. And this is what cracks me up. The neighborhood salt man shows up. It scares the shit out of him. And so this dude is going to be like a good main player in this fucking movie. They don't want their salt. So he's like, all right, fuck you then. I'm going to go fucking take this salt elsewhere, bitch. Not really, but that's probably what he said when he walked away from the door.
Well, they figured after the first murder with Ohm Dude, I don't know his name offhand, but whatever. He freaks out with the rest of the town. He's like, I'll tell you what, we can all go to my store, get ammunition, and we'll be, protect ourselves from this monster. 20% off everything.
Yeah, make a buck. Make a quick buck.
Like, dude, if you end up getting killed first, what the fuck are you going to do with that money?
No shit. Then it's going to be free because everybody's just going to loot your store, buddy.
But he offers the same discount to Billy's parents. It's like, yeah, 20% off the salt. I'm like, bruh, just put it to rest.
Then he goes to Billy's dad. Like Jack shows up to Billy's dad's house, and the dynamic between his mom and dad, he's being such a dick to his wife. He's like, you make my fucking scarf. I'm going outside for a smoke. He's such a dick to her. But this is when Jack shows up and, bro, he straight up just shoves this axe, handle first, down his throat.
Like he was fucking heckling him too the entire time. Like, oh yeah, get it, pull it, yeah, do it.
That's a good boy. Yeah, that's a good boy. Get it out that wood, yeah. Because he asks him for a smoke, and then after he kills him, he's like, I only asked him for a smoke. Fucking one-liners. This is almost on par with the Ginger Dead Man by this point, dude. But oh my god, so he goes in and kills his wife, and the way he fucking does it is just comedic as shit. It's supposed to be scary, but it's fucking not. He just forms behind her, wraps a shit ton of Christmas lights around her neck and strangles her, and then proceeds to fucking slam her face into the ornaments on this carpet. But the way it's shot is like overhead, and you just see, and it's obviously like a fucking like white oven mitt with sleeves, and he's just slamming her face into the goddamn carpet.
She's bobbing for ornaments. He ends up putting one of the ornaments in her mouth like a fucking apple in a pig. Just
oh yeah, and then he like smashed her jaw into where she'd had to bite. Oh my god, it was actually a little brutal. I'll admit that.
But yeah, she got shards all up in her face.
It's like glass ornaments, like back in the day when you still had glass ornaments. And then the salt man shows up there and he fucking runs. He's just like, ah! He fucking sees everything and runs the fuck away. And then like Sam and the cops show up. I swear to God, like the way that they delivered this line, his assistant's just like, get the photographer. Found some spank material. It's the first thing I thought. The way he says, like, get the photographer. Gonna add this to my personal collection. And then Sam goes back to the station. He's just walking and talking. He's not even acknowledging anything. He's just walking. I don't remember the lady's name that works there, the lady cop. But he's like, yeah, get that asshole on the phone from the FBI, blah, blah, blah. And then he turns around and Manners is sitting at the desk and he's, who are you?
I'm the asshole.
Best line. But yeah, he basically explains like the FBI is going to take the case over and all this shit. And then the chemical dude like relays the information to Manners. He's like, well, this guy can freeze and unfreeze at will. But nobody will tell Sam what's going on. Salt Man. This guy, I keep calling him the Salt Man. I don't even fucking know his name. But there's a town meeting because the FBI guy's like, you need to have an enforced curfew in your town and all this shit. So Sam goes to the snowman competition event where the whole town is just sitting in there. And he's like, okay, well, we need to do a curfew, and everybody's kind of, bitching about it and all this other shit. Well, you just hear Sam, like, or not Sam, you hear the salt man just banging on the fucking door.
It's the fucking snowman.
Yeah, he's like, fuckers, a snowman.
And he goes like ape shit on all the snow people like outside the fucking community center, and it's like, lock that man up.
And then finally, he's just going on and on and on, and then just Manners just walks out, and he just fucking he assaults the salt man. Very bad manners. So Sam's like, hey, Chris, you can go check on everything. And Chris is trying to get the fuck out of this. It's like his partner, he's like, I don't want to fucking really do it. Okay, I guess I'll go do this. And
guess
then
I have to.
Yeah, and this fucking scene here was just great when he's driving out to check on everything.
Oh, yeah, I had to think for a second, yeah. He ends up pulling up, and the snowman's in the middle of the fucking road with the stops.
It's so dumb looking.
So he ends up grabbing a damn shovel, and he walks up, and the snowman's gone. And I'm trying to remember exactly how he gets killed, though.
Jack reforms in the car and fucking backs over him with the vehicle. Because you were making the reference that it was like Luigi and Mario Kart.
Yeah, because he would like do that glance over when he runs by, just like turns his head.
It gives you that go fuck yourself look.
Mm-hmm.
It's like whenever you're assaulted by a blue shell and Snowman Luigi just rolls by, runs over you, and just looks at you like, yeah.
You're next.
You're next. Can we get a Santa Sleigh and Jack Frost crossover?
With
like,
Luigi.
Yeah, that's the ultimate tag team. That's like the ultimate 3-man tag team right there.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, yeah, so he gets fucking killed. And then there's like this other cop that shows up, or it might be the same guy. I don't know. Like this is where it gets confusing because it looks like the same dude. Well, he fucking shows up to Sam's house where his wife is home. And you pointed this out where he is making like comments about every little minute detail in their house because he goes to fix this water leak that's under the sink or some bullshit. And he just winds up, he's like twisted and he looks over and Sam's wife is like, you scared the shit out of me or whatever. And he's just like, well, your pipes need fixing. And the first thing I thought was he's talking about her plumbing.
Pipes. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's like you get to the point where he's just like pointing it out like pretty consistent. It's like, oh yeah. By the way, your door is kind of squeaky. You need to get that old real fast. Oh, and that one step on the outside, yeah, you might want to avoid that step and get it fixed because it's a little loose right there. Oh, and this light bulb right here, it's about to go out because I can kind of see it flickering a little bit. Like you're just expecting him to, like you said, just like analyze every fucking thing about the house that's wrong.
And you should probably get your pipes fixed, ma'am.
Definitely.
So this is the film debut of Shannon Elizabeth. So if anybody remembers Shannon Elizabeth, I'm sure most of you out there are going to remember her as Nadia, the foreign exchange student from American Pie.
Mm-hmm.
Sheeta won. And she is actually Billy's sister. So now her fucking brother and her parents are dead. She has I don't think she ever finds out.
She don't.
No.
Because she's fucking around with Tommy.
This is the part that me and you were like trying to figure the fuck out. So, okay, so she's telling her boyfriend that she want to fuck. So tell me why they break into Sam's house to do this.
I just remembered Street Revenge. It's Christmas. I want to fuck.
It's Christmas. I just want to fuck.
Yeah. But yeah, like they dared each other she dared them to go into Sam's house and fuck around basically. And the only way that he was going to get any was for him to put on some champagne on chill or some shit like that.
And like a bottle of wine and
get a fire going.
Yes.
So she ends up going upstairs, which this part just doesn't make no fucking sense because she goes upstairs and blow dries her hair.
Yeah, I mean, unless that was just to warm herself up. Like she should have been blow drying her hair like after a shower or after something, but her hair was dry.
Yeah. But all while that was going on, Jack Frost fucks Tommy up.
Yeah, okay. If we spend like any like obscene amount of time on any point in this movie, this is the one. Jack has solidified himself in the freezer. Okay. This dumbass goes to take an ice pick and chip some ice out of the thing to put ice in the wine, which you're going to fuck the wine up doing that, first of all. Second off, if you put the fucking ice in the wine, you're putting the chemical shit from Jack into the wine. That didn't come into play, though.
Yeah, we were thinking he was going to invest or infest, not invest. Yeah, you can think about the way he was going to invest his time and body into their bodies.
That's it.
But yeah, he ends up confronting him and he somehow puts the ice pick back in the drawer, falls on the ground, takes the damn drawer open and grabs like 2 other utensils and then finds the same ice pick again, which I don't remember him putting it back in the drawer.
Yeah, like he should have had that already. It's like, did he just forget that he was holding an ice pick? And he's like, oh, let me go get a pie scooper for this. Let me get what I don't even know what the fuck
it was
else.
One of those hand blender
it was
whiskers.
Yeah. Like, what the
whiskers.
fuck, dude?
Yeah, I don't know what they're called. Apparatus thingies.
It was stupid though. Like then he finally finds the ice pick. Well, then Jack just launches like icicle spears through his like fucking chest and his face, like through the door. Is very bloody looking.
He's like Sub-Zero. Just
finish him.
But yeah, he kills Tommy, and we go upstairs to Homegirl, and there's a full bath water ran and everything in the bathroom, and she's like, "Thanks, Tommy."
I forgot about the line that Jack gives him because he punches that dude, right? Like he opens the door. He's like, "What the fuck?" Well, it ain't fucking Frosty.
Yep. Just like gingerbread, man.
Who are you? The world's most pissed off snow cone.
That was great.
Right. But yeah, he's liquefied himself in the bathtub.
And she's doing her thing, getting inside. The fucking carrot pops up in the water right underneath her left leg, and it was like, where the fuck was that?
Where were you hiding that carrot?
It's like, does your pussy need to see better?
Yeah, right.
But,
Well, yeah, he freezes around her, and I mean, honestly, like it's made to look comedic, but I mean, he's basically like sexually assaulting her in the tub. It's not explicit that it's happening, but it's almost implied. It just looks like he's frozen around her and just like smashing her. Like they're standing and he's like smashing her into the wall of the tub, and then she just dies.
literally and figuratively, because the nose is still missing from his face.
Right. Yeah. So that's yeah. And he's like, looks like Christmas came early this year.
Hope it was good for you.
God, what a dick.
So 2 more people are dead.
Yeah. And then at the FBI and the sheriff, like they're all, congregating around the office or whatever. And they're like, oh, hey, Chris is back. The car just pulled up outside. Well, fuck, that ain't Chris. And then we get to the chase sequence where Jack chases these people through the police station, right? And we're going to get to the actual window breaking scene number 2. So they decide, let's get a bunch of aerosol together and blow this motherfucker up.
Which was all a bunch of hairspray cans that, I don't remember her name, the secretary of the police station. She just happens to love hairspray in her hair.
Right.
But they literally fog the hallway where the jail was. And apparently they locked the window
With a padlock.
and the key was on the other side of the jail where Sam left it.
Yeah. This is what pissed me off. You can't get it. They're like, we can't get out of the window without the key. Yeah, you can. If you take the butt end of your pistols and break the glass and get out, yeah, you can make it out.
There was no need for Sam to trek back to the other side of the jail, only for Frosty to just...
Yeah, because at this point, the FBI agent finally has admitted to Sam, like, it's Jack Frost. Triggered.
hair triggered.
Yeah, hairspray triggered.
But they eventually get Home Dude out of jail, the
Salt Man.
They get out, they shoot the damn police station, and it catches it on fire.
I love the oh shit line that Jack delivers, because again, it's explosion. Oh shit! He blows up. But then he reforms, but he's all fucked up, like his head's on his side, his arms like on the top of him, and he's just like, I'm gonna kill you, motherfucker. He's
Just wait till I get back to myself together.
Yeah, just wait till I pull myself together. He's not even hiding it anymore. So the whole town is freaking the fuck out. They finally admit the acid that's forming him. And I'm sitting here thinking, yeah, this movie is an acid trip. Like, what the fuck? So at first they're like, well, we'll just put him in a watertight container. Like, that's not going to fucking stop this dude. And then one thing that cracked me up that you noticed, and I think we both said it at the same time. Earlier at the town meeting for the curfew thing, they were going to, put the heat on. So the pastor, the local pastor, goes downstairs and lights the boiler in the boiler room.
So
They use the...
So let me run you frame by frame how this happens. So the pastor walks to the boiler, he pats it a couple of times, and he cranks up the knob to turn the heat on. And that's pretty much what happens. Well, when they tried to lure Jack Frost into the community center, they reused that same fucking footage to crank up the heat again in the community center. Only it was like they used like the last half of it, or the last third of it, like a little bit longer than normal, to show that it was actually getting turned on higher and higher. It's like, okay, well, if you like reusing footage, go ahead.
Yeah. Then the way they chopped it, they tried to chop it to where it didn't look like the same, but we're sitting there just like, this is the same. Don't even lie.
He pats the damn boiler. We know it's the same scene.
I mean, the same angle, the same everything. Like,
Yeah.
Don't fucking hide it.
Like, how would that pastor be happy enough to be like, pat this boiler? Yeah, it's a good boiler. He'd be like freaking the fuck out. Oh my God, I got to turn this thing on real quick.
Right?
No, we know it's the same thing.
Somehow Ryan shows up. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know how, or I guess he was there for the snowman competition or whatever, but so they're outside, and Jack reforms, and he bites Manners' face and kills the science dude by entering him, and then he comes outside and makes the body puke him out. And he's like, don't eat the yellow snow.
You know what that reminds me of? When Edgar was taken over by the roach alien in Men in Black. He was just kind of like how he walks. He was just like, very uncomfortable.
Yeah, because he finally stops. He's, fuck it, and just pukes him out.
It's like, I got a bit of a problem.
Right? Sugar water. Sugar water. Sugar water. Sugar water. And here is where I have pieced together the fact that maybe Ryan could have killed Billy if he wanted to. They're in the car. And this is another problem that I've got, okay? They're in the car trying to escape, Sam and Ryan. Jack starts pouring through the air conditioning vents as liquid, and he's sitting there. He's like, don't touch the water. Why haven't you gotten out of the fucking car by now? First of all. Secondly, when he does form, the way they get out is that Ryan, in a scaredy cat moment, just shoves that bag of oats into Jack, which starts fucking him up and melting him.
Which we come to find out, he's like, Ryan, what was in that shit? Antifreeze.
You were going to kill your fucking dad. Have you been cooking with antifreeze this entire fucking time, you murderous little cuntwad?
First of all, how do you get access to antifreeze?
I swear to God, I think we actually noticed this while he was cooking in the beginning. We were like, is that like a fucking car product on the stove? And it was this giant yellow jug, apparently of antifreeze, just on the stove.
How does a kid get access to antifreeze freely? Because they always bitch about how, if you have antifreeze on the ground, animal licks it up, it's going to taste sweet, it'll kill it. Well, don't you think it's the same concept for a kid as well? Especially if they're like, what's this yellow bottle? Oh, it has blue juice in it.
Glug, 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 glug.
Or green juice in it, whatever.
It's that G Fuel. He's like, glug, 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 glug. But really, it's 1996, so I would honestly assume that maybe he just went in his dad's garage, which, what the fuck are you doing fucking with antifreeze? Why would you go near car products and be like, you know what, I can cook with this?
Also, the parents saw him making this shit with it.
That's how oblivious they are, and that's how much they don't give a shit.
I'm like, dude, what the are you literally trying to get your kid to kill himself?
Didn't he taste it?
I don't remember, but if he did, that's fucked up even more.
That's what I'm saying. He's like, just right. Dad, take my antifreeze oats to work. Eat this pile of shit with marshmallows. The marshmallows will hide the flavor.
It's just, it's so baffling how that whole sequence of events like turns out to be like not even existing at all until the very tail end. It's like, oh, you use antifreeze. Wait, you fucking use antifreeze? I almost ate that shit.
You're grounded. You're fucking grounded.
So yeah, Jack is literally waddling around with like a third of his face melted off, and it's like all bloody, like entrail looking on the inside.
Right. And then the salt man runs him over with his truck. And then we get the grand scheme, the big idea that's going to do this. So they decide to make a redneck hot tub in the back of the salt man's truck with every bit of antifreeze from the local department store. So how do they get him in there? Well, Sam lures Jack upstairs. It's like his hotel or some bullshit. And what's with the Dutch angle? Like I noticed that it was the only shot like that was used in this whole movie, and it had no fucking reason to be a Dutch angle.
It was like 20 seconds of unnecessary. Like, yeah, just walk down the aisle or walk down the hall, I should say.
Right.
Walk down the damn hall normally and panicky and freaky. The Dutch angle does nothing for this scene because it's so short.
Exactly. We've got problems with both of these movies in certain scenes, but like I swear to God, this one might take the cake for me. So Jack and Sam are having their final standoff in this room, and Jack slowly is piercing through. He says he's piercing through Sam's heart with this icicle, right? And I mean, it looks enough to kill him, and it looks like he dies. But then he's like, not today or whatever, and he fucking like charges with him attached to him out this fucking window just in time that Saltman has backed up the bed of this truck, and then they fall into the liquid, right?
And it's just green goop of death.
A wound that big. You're jumping into antifreeze with a wound that big near your heart. How does that wound not become septic, or like how do you not fucking die from that shit?
Yeah, because I mean, that chemical goes straight into your bloodstream and goes all over the place.
And then the way that he landed, think about this. Sam lands face first on top of the snowman with that thing still in his chest. How did that not just impale him further?
Again, movie logic.
So he just pounds him into the fucking, like, he's just punching him until he just becomes like goop. And it's over. No, it's not over because his arm is still out of the truck. And because Ryan stupidly picks it up, he's like, Dad, you forgot the arm.
And it just like wraps like a shawl around Ryan's face. And they throw Ryan, well, they don't throw him in there, but they basically give him a baptism of antifreeze.
Because the pastor's there too, and it's so stupid. Praise God. But yeah, they melt the arm. Sam's bleeding out. I assume he's bleeding out because it's stupid that they didn't even show it. I'm just gonna say it. He's fucking bleeding out. He's septic. He's probably gonna die later in life. And they're like, oh, it's finally over. And I'm sitting there like, I wish that arm would have crushed that little kid's fucking head. Because that child just, oh my God, what a royal fuck up. Dad, I tried to kill you with antifreeze. You dumb bastard.
So what do they do next? They basically empty out the bed of the truck of all the antifreeze into individual bottles, and they bury the bottles into the ground, which is basically like the concept of like witches and stuff. Like you take out the heart or you take out their body parts or something like that, and you scatter them in these boxes and shit, and it pretty much prevents them from coming together to reanimate or something like that. It's like witches and deities and some other shit. But yeah, they basically do the same concept as they lock him up in the ground individually with the antifreeze so he doesn't reanimate at all. Well, come to find out, he's not technically dead because in one of the bottles in the last shot, he's bubbling the damn antifreeze liquid in the bottle. And it's like, okay, so how the fuck do you stay alive?
Right? And that's the end, basically, because like it starts bubbling and it shows that Jack is still quote unquote alive. But in reading on this page or whatever, because I'm trying to figure out if they ever explain why the antifreeze was used in the baking, it says that Ryan put the antifreeze in the oatmeal believing it would keep his father from getting cold. I have nothing for that. I've got nothing. I could see maybe like a 4-year-old. You know what I'm saying? Like I could see maybe like maybe 6 years old. This kid is easily like 12. Got to be easily like 11 or 12 years old.
But it's not so much him, it's the parents, because they literally saw him using this antifreeze in the kitchen and didn't question it like we talked about. How do you not notice this? Or if you do notice it, how do you ignore it?
Well, they're probably like they ignore everything else in this town. Nothing bad happens in our town.
For ages.
Yeah, drink that antifreeze, Ryan. It'll keep you warm. That's Jack Frost.
This got real fucked up.
Dude, I'm telling you. Okay. If only for comedic purposes, because both of these movies have really funny moments, but I feel like Jack Frost tried to play it too straight. I feel like Santa Slay takes this one this week.
Only because there's a lot of those problems that we had with Jack Frost were just, I couldn't get into this film after the fact or those problems. Because there were like minor stuff here and there in Santa Slay that was, okay, you know, I'll question it, but it's not going to like ruin the moment. Like I'm talking about the shit with Jack Frost and I was like, dude, seriously, like how in the hell does this even fly, period?
Did you know that there's a sequel to this, and there was a third one planned, but the guy that played Sam died in 2008.
Probably drank the antifreeze.
He probably did. And the second one is called Revenge of the Mutant Killer Snowman. I don't even want to. No.
After that train, well, not so much a train wreck, but after that mess, no.
That snowmobile wreck?
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, absolutely Santa Slay takes this one this week.
It's like I was telling, we were watching that movie, and I was watching Richie, like, check the time. I was like, really? It's been an hour into this movie already? It's like, I don't feel like it's been that long.
On Santa Slay?
Yeah, because you watch this film and you kind of just lose yourself into the film because it's so fucking out there with Bill Goldberg just killing everybody.
Right, and you're having such a good time. Like you're not going to notice it. With this one, I was checking the time frame to be like, is there really fucking like 45 minutes of this movie left? And it's not like I completely hated it. I just had a shit ton of issues with like plot hole points and like logic. I mean, granted, you're supposed to suspend your disbelief for a lot of this bullshit, but my God, like just the practicality of certain things.
When you get to our age, it's like, no, we start questioning shit.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so say you and I were doing this podcast and we were like 22, 23 years old. I'm pretty sure that we would look past most of this shit just for the sheer entertainment value, but like I can't help but and this is a problem that I personally have. Like for the most part, I can watch movies and enjoy them for what they are, but I don't know if it's like the cinephile in me or if it's just the fact that, you know, I've been around movies my whole life, but I almost have to tell myself don't watch this and analyze it on the first viewing or at any time at all. But that's what I do, like, just by default. So, like, watching this movie is like, okay.
You pull the notebook out. It's like, what we got?
Oh my God, we're going to give you a lesson. We're going to teach that kid a lesson. Don't fucking bake with antifreeze, you little shit.
Just don't touch the antifreeze at all.
Visit supermediabrospodcast.com to listen to all past, present, and future episodes, because fuck that movie for real. And follow us on social media, subscribe to our YouTube channel, check out all the other podcasts on Odd Pods Media Network, buy a t-shirt if you'd like, buy a jacket. I mean, it's Christmas Day, so you're too late. If you're trying to get this as a Christmas present, you're fucking way too late to the game.
And you don't need antifreeze to stay warm. You can get a jacket from us and save yourself.
Literally save yourself.
That's my disclaimer.
Probably should put that as a disclaimer at the beginning of this. So it was like, don't fucking drink antifreeze.
No antifreeze was used in the making of this jacket. There's technology behind how to stay warm with a jacket, and that's not part of it.
Buy 2 jackets. Hell, buy one of our long sleeves and wear it underneath the fucking hoodie and stay warm. Don't use the antifreeze.
Be hot like us. And by hot, I don't mean we're sexy. I'm just mean like we're wearing jackets right now.
It's warm.
Yeah.
So next month, we're going to kick off 2021 with an entire month devoted to the Death Wish franchise. Like, we're going to be talking about the original Death Wish. We're going to talk about the Bruce Willis remake in 2018. We're going to talk about the ripoff called Death Kiss. But the 2 Cult Cinema Showdowns that we have planned is actually going to be like a low-key tournament to see which one of these is the best, kind of how we did with the Neil Breen films. So we're going to have Death Wish 2 versus Death Wish 3, and then Death Wish 4 versus Death Wish 5. And at the end of that one, we're going to determine which of those 4 was the best one. So stay tuned for that shit. That was supposed to happen in September, but obviously like got pushed back because reasons. Do you have anything else, my good sir?
No, I've pretty much given my speech about most of this episode, so yeah,
awesome sauce.
I'm good. I'm not that verbal half the time when it comes to most of these episodes. I think this one brought out a little bit more of that verbalness.
It's like, we're here to tell you the tale of Ryan's antifreeze oats with marshmallows. Sounds like a fucked up breakfast cereal.
It comes in a blue bottle.
Dummy bunches of oats. What if that's how he eats his oats? Like for breakfast, he just mixes it. Like instead of using milk, he just uses antifreeze. Just fucking pours it in there and shit. Daddy, why is it green? It doesn't matter. Eat up, son.
Tastes like internal bleeding.
Somebody get Sam a doctor. I will say this though about these movies. Hats off to Scott McDonald for actually like owning that role as Jack Frost, and then also once again to Bill Goldberg for being like the most badass fucking Santa Claus I think we've had on this podcast.
He is the Santa we need and deserve.
Yeah, no shit. That was episode 152, Cult Cinema Showdown 63. Until next year, I've been Midnight Agent Raw.
And I'm Mokame.
Don't drink the antifreeze.
And get to slaying.